older brothers, he always stressed to them that the needle was very heavy and didn't want any of us to go into the business.
Why?
Because it was not as lucrative as some of the other endeavors that they could have pursued.
Isn't that funny? The needle is very heavy.
Yeah, the needle is very heavy.
Yeah.
That was very prolific.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you story after story. But so all my 5 older brothers were more professional. Well, they were professional, and I was the only one that stayed in the business. And he was proud of that fact up until the day he died. And now that Matt was come along.
But I mean, this is beautiful. What you did is like, I feel like you took it to the next level. And would that be fair?
So. It certainly was a different level than he was at. He was a creative artisan who actually did the work with the needle and thread and the fabrics, and I became a spokesman of that trade and applied that knowledge to how people look. And
so how did you make it grow? Like, did you go out and hustle, go to different,
that's exactly what we did.
20 years before we had this store, it was all about the hustle.
It was all about the hustle.
So it was by appointment.
Yeah, and what do you do? Like, I love a suit like that, where the stitches, what is it called? Because I don't know the proper
This is
name.
the hand stitching.
Hand stitching?
Slight contrast.
Yeah.
Conservative bold.
So
I prefer to call it.
When you you're sharp. Every day you look sharp. Like, I love that. If I could...
You gotta wear it to sell it.
Well, let me tell you something. I come from a family where my dad was a teacher, but he wore a suit every day to work. My grandfather would put a suit on to go get the mail. You know, I mean, that's just what you did, right? It's kind of old school. And if I had the funds
to do it,
I would be dressed like that every day. I would wear a $1,000 suit, $1,100 suit every day.
Let me tell you how much you would get attention-wise if you did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't want to talk inappropriate, but I can say a swear word.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those sluts would be
You would
throwing
get asked
themselves out.
everywhere you go.
Hey!
You would get asked everywhere you go if you dressed in a suit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Bar none.
It's unbelievable, and it is a thing. Like, there's something about. I'll tell you what. I think that when the saying used to be, am I right? The clothes make the man, and the reason I think that that's so true is you look at kids, right, and you make them dress a certain way, they behave better.
Yeah.
You know, they just do. Like my kid, when he had to go to McQuaid, I mean, the jacket was crusty because he kept throwing it in his locker, but it was a little bit higher level of you got to look good.
And more importantly than that, than looking good is crucial, but it's the way you feel, the way you project, the way you come across to your audience. It's
right.
It's a whole different. It's a whole different
passionately.
game. Yeah, exactly.
Pops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dress passionately because you feel a whole different.
Yeah,
it's true. It's
ball
so
game
true.
when you're looking with a tailored suit and a beautiful tie, and a well-pressed shirt, and even a nice fedora, and your shoes have got to be polished, please. I mean, I look around and I see these guys dressed, and then their shoes are not polished. It's like somebody wake this guy up, you know.
But you can do a sociological experiment. Go to a place, bar, a nice little lounge. You've never been there before. Do it in a t-shirt. Next Friday, wear a tailored blazer.
Right.
Even some dress jeans and a loafer.
Yeah.
And see the response you get. Not in a pompous way, but respect in the evening.
Right.
See, Bill, you could just do that at least.
I can.
Throw down some jeans.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
We may have something up our sleeve. A few minutes down the podcast.
So the Two Fit Chicks are here as well, and they do a podcast called The Two Fit Chicks.
The Two Fit Chicks.
They even have their own theme song for the Two Fit Chicks.
We love our
Thanks to you, Bill.
No.
Thanks to you.
But they do it, and it drops weekly, and they have about 10 episodes out right now on our platform, and you can go listen. And I am really impressed because I did not know.
You didn't think it was going to be any good?
No, I didn't know what to expect, but I'm like, I love when it's, they talk about diet and fitness and working out and funny things in between, and, Joanna will mention her kids, and you'll mention your son.
Yeah.
You had somebody in recently, we talked about Italy, and I was telling these guys about, what's that? You actually walk away learning a lot of good things.
Right. Yeah, you do learn a lot.
You do.
Learn
And we
from
do
people.
too. Because
do.
we bring in our guests that teach us, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Where did how did this friendship begin, and then where did the Two Fit Chicks come from? Because that's the part that I don't really know.
Wow.
Go ahead, Matt. What you got?
It kind of makes sense. I mean, well, we'll start with how we actually met.
The first time
through
we
our
actually
kids.
met was through our kids.
Yeah, they were little, younger.
They were younger, yep. And
They went to school
I
together.
actually, so you were friends with some, it was a mutual friend of ours that
Yeah.
kind of, I felt like Liz brought you to
Yeah.
something, and that's how
Yeah.
I met her. And then
We used to have the hotel parties with our kids. You know,
For,
for
like,
like New
the New
Year's
Year's
and
Eve.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
the kids go and they
Chaperone.
swim, you know, and the parents drink.
parents
and,
hang out and have
you know, we
fun.
have a great
Girls
time.
having
The
fun.
kids are having a blast.
that's the way to
That's
do
how we
it.
met.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
you have to do it when your kids are little. And so, but then we also both were big into fitness. And so eventually, I mean, we didn't start working out together until like 10 years later, probably.
Until you decided to do a fitness
I decided
show.
to do a fitness competition, and
I already had been doing
Yeah.
several,
Wow.
so then we
yeah,
met because of that.
So
Or we
I was
met
like,
back together.
I had this one coach reach out to me, you know, and I'm like, I don't know, should I? I'm like, let me call Rebecca. Rebecca's the expert.
I'm
And
like,
so
just
that's-
come where I am.
She forced me. She's like, you're not going to somebody else. You're coming over to where I am, and that was it.
And then we trained together, and we did a show together. She was 50, right? Is that what we
Actually,
did?
by that point,
Were you 50?
I was 51. It was in my.
Oh, okay.
I trained my 50th year for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was still
Yeah.
in my 40s. Now I'm 50.
She's the baby of the two of us. I'm the adult here. She's the baby. But yeah, so that's how we started working out
Yeah.
together, and we
competed together.
and then you did the reality TV
Reality,
show.
and
Right.
she
Right.
came out
I
as
came along
my,
with
as
her.
my
Milk Manor.
family. Milk
I
Manor.
know. Yes. And then it was because of that that we started.
We did
You
some.
remember
We
you
did some
I did invite you
podcasts.
on, yeah.
Yeah,
And I brought her.
She
Yeah.
brought me to all of it. She's like, I'm not going without you. I'm not
We
going
did the
without you.
Wheeze. We were
Yeah.
like everywhere. We would. I like Joey coming with me.
Yep.
He
Yep.
was gonna come with me. You were on there too.
Out of that, you decided to do, hey, we should do a podcast?
So people
Yeah.
started saying that to us.
Like Two Fit Chicks? Or?
No, I came up with that name out of thin air. I don't even know where
Yeah,
it
she
came
was like,
from.
let's just do the two fit
Well,
checks.
everyone
Like,
kept
I love
saying,
it.
you guys
Love
should
it.
get your own. People that were paying attention and
Yeah.
watching, they're like, you guys are so good together. I like your, you know.
We were already
rapport."
working out together all the
Yeah.
time.
So we go, well, we were talking, and Rebecca's like, what would we call it? I'm like, I just came out of my mouth. I don't know where
She
it
goes,
came from.
"Two fit chicks."
I go, how
I'm
about
like,
the two
yeah.
fit chicks? So like,
It was perfect.
And we had designed it as initially was going to be a fitness, all about fitness.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we're so obsessed
Yeah,
with.
right.
Right.
And then we're like, well, we'll do fitness. We'll talk about
Fashion,
we'll talk about
beauty.
the stuff at the gym and like
Yeah.
funny things that happen at the gym, locker room talk,
Yeah,
that kind
we
of
kind of
stuff.
started with that. the
And
locker
then
room
it just
talk.
and then it exploded into the beauty,
And then
fashion,
we
and
had
then
and we had guys come on too. You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
girls. It was everything.
Joanne,
so-
tell me, like, when you've been working out most of your life,
yes.
then you go to do a show. How much different was your diet? Going
I'm
from just
gonna
every day
say
to your show.
I
stuff.
learned that I don't know how I actually walked this planet for all those years because I did not eat enough food. I
Oh.
could not
And she's
believe.
vegan.
Well, I'm not vegan.
Well, no, pescatarian.
I was a vegetarian up until I started training for that show because I needed another protein source, so I started eating fish. But up until then, I had, since I was 15, I stopped eating beef and poultry. And then through the years, I started with a little bit of fish here and there, and then I didn't like it, but my coach was like,
You better eat something."
Either you better eat some chicken or you better eat some fish. I go, all right, I'll do the fish. I'm not eating chicken. So that's how I learned that I didn't eat enough. And a lot of women don't eat enough. We tend to want to starve ourselves.
Like protein, not getting enough protein.
Not getting
Right.
enough protein or carbs or fat. I was probably eating under 1,000 calories a day and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So, how much better did you feel?
Eating all that food in the beginning, I was like, I can't do this.
Too much,
I was,
right? You felt
It was
like that.
awful. I was so full all the time, and I felt like I couldn't stuff another morsel in. And it was that mentality, like, just you're gonna eat like this is your job. You need to just get as much of it in as you can, and keep going. And every day it'll get better, and it did. And then over time, I remember
This could
saying,
be so taken out of context.
No.
I
Jay
mean,
Cutler.
I-
Look at Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, one of the best bodybuilders ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ate as his job.
It's like your job.
15,000 calories a day.
Holy
He didn't
shit,
enjoy
that's a
it.
lot, yeah.
But to become Mr. Olympia
Yeah.
or one of
Yeah.
the two fit chicks,
Yeah.
Well, you know what
Calories are
happening?
needed.
I remember going, because I'm a hairstylist, we don't eat a lot. We don't have time to eat.
Right.
It's a bite here, a bite there, in between. You're mixing color, you're eating a little here. Well, that would take enough. That was like, I could kill my appetite really easy that way. So I'd be like, okay, I'm full now, I'm good. I don't need any more. Well, I remember saying to our coach at one point, like, your metabolism starts firing up so much that now you're every 2.5 hours you're like, I need that next meal. Like,
Yeah.
And I was like,
do.
what is this feeling? I'm like, what
you're
is this
hungry.
feeling of hunger? I never really
Really?
walked. I would always walk around.
You're
blank.
like,
Do you
I
eat
gotta
like
eat.
that regularly now?
No.
I mean, I don't like. We don't like. We were competing, but
No.
I do feel if
I need to.
I barely
just
go.
Just turn it. Either-
I barely go. I barely go a day not eating all day long because I will be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
am I doing something wrong?
You gotta feed.
No, it just looked really.
It
That's so
just looked
funny.
very phallic. You
I
described
was
it
like, let me do this.
Sorry.
very familiar with that.
Apologize for that.
I'm sorry,
Oh my
Omero.
God.
I know. We're sorry. This is a
Sorry,
family
Wally.
show.
Is it
According
Wally's
to
show.
whom?
So now the way we do it now is because obviously we're not training for something. We still try to get every food in every couple hours, every 2.5 hours. We try not to go a long stretch, but
Eat
we're, by
something,
no means
yeah.
am I eating as many or as
what
much
are
as I
you?
should.
What are you eating? Like,
Egg
let's
whites,
say, okay.
Egg whites, oatmeal.
blueberries.
Once again, with the egg whites, though, you said that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, egg
All the nutrition's in the yolk.
Protein.
Do you have
here's what I
cholesterol
had.
problems?
No,
egg
cholesterol.
whites.
No, I
Not
do
the eggs.
today I had 1 full egg and 1 egg white.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
need
So,
one. Yeah.
because you need a little fat, so it
Yeah.
depends on what I was in a hurry, so I'm gonna I boiled 2 eggs, I took 1 whole one and one, I took the yolk out and threw away, and ran out the door eating that, so,
I
if
used
I
to
was
do
making, if I was making it,
Yeah.
I would have put a different oil in it or something, I maybe would have put in a scoop of peanut butter with, like a lot of times I'll take my oatmeal, mix it in with the egg whites, throw some peanut butter in there, and put some blueberries in there, and that's like
Blueberry.
What kind of oats are you using?
just like regular, not the old-fashioned ones, the quick ones, quick oats.
Yeah,
Quick
Yeah.
oats. Okay.
We don't have time.
Yeah. No, I know. I used to call it my prison breakfast. I used to eat
Yeah.
3 boiled eggs and an apple.
Okay, it's actually really good.
No, it is good.
It was,
That's
it
how you
was
get
my.
a six-pack
It was
right
my.
there.
Well, guess what? I stopped.
Always like
There's
that.
a sex. That's why.
The
What
black.
the apple
Life is
t-shirt.
such a slimming effect.
Apples are nice during the
Apples
day
are
because
great.
they do fill you up because they're fiber, so they fill me up.
Yeah,
so
they're-
that will hold me over.
I always eat the
Yeah.
most pretentious fruit on the planet. A pear.
A pear.
I always call it
love
the most.
pears.
I call
Why
it the
do you
most
love
pretentious
that?
because it was always like Steve Jobs walked around with it, all this shit. I used to do a
no.
joke about somebody went to a winery. And you ever go to a winery and have a wine tasting?
Yeah.
And then they would always tell you, like, do you taste? Well, they
Cleanse
would,
your palate?
Yeah, cleanse your palate.
Oh,
And then they'd
okay.
start to tell you, like, do you taste the lemongrass? And
Oh.
all these assholes in this thing would go, oh, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, look at you slobs, I have no idea. And then they're going, do you taste?
Notes
do you
of
taste?
chocolate.
Right.
How about the movie Sideways? The tall dude's like, when do we get to drink it?
Right. That's the thing. Like you're tasting all this stuff, and then they say something along the lines like, "Hey, do you taste the Asian pear?" And I got my friends going, I go, wait a second. Your palate's so good. Not only can you discern the fruit, you can tell me what fucking continent it's from.
Not just
I mean,
regular and
yes. I mean, that's it, right? How dumb is it? I go,
love
that's the thing. So I always think pear is the most pretentious fruit. That's what I
Yeah, I
say.
guess
We got
so. I
Asian
never
pears
tried
at
to.
Omeros, dressed passionately.
Yes, dress passionately
I
with
love
your
it.
Asian
Right.
pears.
Yes.
Wally, anything you want to add? You're very quiet.
Yes,
Look at
Wally.
the shirt Wally's got. I love that
Wally,
shirt.
tell us. I want you to explain the initial thing. How you have Wally there. Tell us about that.
Oh, so monogram
Yes.
shirts, right?
Tell us about why you wear it.
Or is it?
Why it's
Mon-
over there? Yeah.
Monogramming
Get
is
rid of that.
monogramming is a very personal thing. You either do or you don't. I don't
Okay.
see people that are halfway in between on monogramming.
Okay.
No.
Generally, from my experience, I found that those that are the most self-confident and strong personalities don't need a monogram.
Okay. Oh.
I find that those who are a little bit I don't want to say weak, it's distinctive. It's
Ego.
unique. It's
Well,
but
that's Rochester for
right.
you.
And if you want, if you got a little bit more of an ego, and then then those are the ones that would tend to make a monogram. Now I don't want to say that I'm one of those strong, but I like a monogram on my shirt because it identifies.
Tell us
it
the
to me.
placement.
But
I'm
yeah, the
interested
placement
in
is,
that.
I've never seen
So
Why,
one.
generally-
why left waist?
Right, left waist. Okay.
us
Generally
why.
speaking, the most popular location for a monogram would be the left cuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and usually just initials, right?
Usually.
Because I had a couple that
Right.
were WPM, William
Right.
Patrick Moran. So I had a few of those.
Okay.
But the most traditional.
What's his whole name?
Patrick. Okay, go ahead, Wally. Okay, Wally.
So the location on the left waist is really the most traditional location for a monogram
Okay.
because a gentleman never takes his jacket off
Okay.
in the old school.
Yeah.
Never
Okay.
takes his jacket off. And when you wear your jacket, the monogram's always covered. So
Right,
it's very
okay.
low-keyed and understated.
Okay.
Okay, that's where the monogram placement on the left waist where this is comes from.
So
Old
because
school.
you're saying it wouldn't really show.
It doesn't show.
Professional settings, 50
Okay.
years.
When you wear it on your
Yes.
cuff, you'll see it when you check
Right.
your watch. It's usually
Right.
the left cuff that
I
you wear it
see.
on, and you see it a lot more.
So do you think
That's
that
very
is
cool.
this more showy?
Subtle.
Or no?
I think it's almost
Subtle.
more subtle, right?
No,
Or
it's more subtle there. It's more showy on
Yeah,
the
on the left cuff.
But-
and we
Okay.
sell it mainly on the
On
left
the left
cuff.
cuff.
And like that, but either way, what I like to say,
Is it because a
I-
lot of people are wearing their shirts without their jacket now these days? Would you say?
not so much. That
They don't
depends on
want
the
it back.
person, but I show it and sell it like this. It's
Right.
going to be a custom shirt by Omeros, with or without a monogram. With a monogram, without a monogram, if it doesn't have it and they don't know it's a custom made shirt, or other people around them don't know it, then you fire us because we fitted it, we served it wrong, our skill
Right.
was wrong. So
Right.
with or without a monogram, we still got to do our job.
Right.
Gotcha.
Can I tell you what I thought it was when I saw you, Wally? I was like, is that like Where's Waldo? You have to find it on your shirt.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I thought it was.
Yes, she thought you were putting a little hidden.
All right. What do you want me to say?
I'll tell you
Don't-
what,
that was my
I'll
favorite
tell you
book
what,
growing up.
I tell you this from the bottom of my heart. I would trade all the information and knowledge I have about monograms or anything else that I'm a professional at for 2 hours of your input on diet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing good though.
I'm doing great
Yeah.
compared to where I was.
Right.
But it's the old saying, I've come a long way, but I got a long way to go. And
Well, we say it's, what is it? The slow and steady wins the race. So you just have to be consistent.
We just talked about
Yeah.
with Marlo, the walking,
Slow
which
and
you
steady.
said you started. He's been walking his steps. How many steps do you do a day now?
I don't know if I count steps, but I think it comes out to about 7,000, 8,000,
Yeah.
somewhere in that
Perfect.
range.
Well, you're doing your walk, it's
But-
about a
Yeah.
5K.
Yeah.
That's every other day, and the other days I try to alternate between going into the
weights
gym
and
and pressing iron
Yeah.
and the walking for the cardio because this all changed a year ago when I had triple bypass surgery.
Whoa, you did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
man.
fact, it was almost a year ago to the day.
You
It
look
was
too
September.
young.
Yeah,
I know, doesn't he?
yeah,
So
yeah.
handsome.
Wrong. I know.
Well, you got to see the way
But-
my mom cooks.
Yeah,
That's what he said. Yeah, it's the cooking,
good.
right?
Yeah, it's good. You
Trying to
know.
put you under.
Yeah.
But now you're eating like you tell her you only want one sandwich instead of two, right?
Well, I tell her that.
So
He goes with the flow.
And I tend to, I tend to be
Sorry,
a little
Mom,
bit
love you.
more, a little bit more high protein and low carbohydrates and low fats. And,
High protein,
and-
low
and high-
carb. Yep.
And, you know,
Low saturated fats.
Yes.
Nutrition minor at UB, low saturated. That's the
And the
important
drinking
part.
is
That's what
is
clogs the arteries.
minimal,
Yes.
right?
I don't drink.
You don't drink at all.
I mean, if I
Okay.
have 2 drinks a month, it's a lot.
Glass of
Usually-
wine or something.
Yeah, and usually if I drink, it's because I want to catch a buzz, not because I'm drinking
Right.
socially.
Just for the
I don't-
That's
I
where
don't
the
drink.
phrase martinis are like boobs comes from.
Yeah, one's not enough and three's too many. Yeah.
We'll take a moment. I think it's a great idea to get some nutrition tips. Maybe we get a few when we.
I would love
come back.
that.
I know.
Yeah.
I would definitely love. But see, the thing is,
What's that?
the tips are great, and I use them, and I'll,
Occasionally.
benefit. I know I'll benefit from them, but I got the GM at home that yeah, we're gonna make this, we're gonna have that. I said okay.
Matt, if he doesn't
Yeah.
have a second sandwich, he's going to be hungry in 2 hours. And we're not eating till 6 o'clock. I'm like, it's like can't get it.
It's old school. You know, in my house, it's old
Yeah.
school. It's great,
Yeah.
but it's old school. And
So
that's what I have to learn to
maybe
overcome.
Omero can
She
tell
cooks,
her how.
She
Yeah.
cooks better, and she cooks low fat and high protein. But, you know, don't come over on Sunday if you want to get an education on how to eat right. You know?
Right, exactly.
All right, we'll take a moment.
Long. Oh.
This goes on.
You gotta go?
on.
10 to 1.
Okay.
Why the hell do I work so hard?
This was actually a rap song, I
Yeah.
think, in their like early '90s or something. Or-
Yeah.
and then they turned it into this. Same writers, or maybe 2000s, I should say. There you go. You know, you were talking about Wally's signatures. My mom, now this may, I don't know how people feel about fur, but we're going back to the 80s. And for her 40th birthday, my father bought her a fur coat, and it had her signature sewn into the inside.
Oh.
And they got something that was, I had never heard of, a fitch fur. It was black and white, long length coat.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really pretty. And then we're in New York City, and they used to store it at a furrier. And we're down there, and somebody threw red paint.
No.
Yes. Red paint on the back of the white coat.
Shoot.
It's had to be like 1985,
Oh yeah, that was during
86.
that time where
Yeah.
they were revolting against that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And I know that people get upset, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't
Your
know.
poor
I think
mom.
some of those, some of those animals
That's
are.
overstepping.
Is it not?
That is overstepping.
I don't like
You don't- you
destruction
can
of
have your
property.
opinion.
What did
period.
your
No.
mom do?
Your poor mom.
Nothing. No one knew until we were.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we were all walking, so somebody came from behind and just splashed it.
Ah.
And I don't think so. They had it cleaned, but I think if you got down to the hide, you could still see.
see some.
Yeah. So then I think then there was one year they didn't get down to the furrier, and then the house burned down. So then she bought a mink or something after that.
So
But I think
that fur-
I think at that point my sister was like, "Yeah, that fur." So
Yeah. The fur is.
It burned.
yeah,
Oh my
burned with the house.
gosh.
original
Oh
fur.
my gosh.
So, but that whole district down there, the Furrier district, I think it's in the meat packing district. Is what they call it, and that's where a lot of garment. Is it the garment? I don't remember.
Garment district.
Garment district.
I'm not familiar with
Okay.
furs.
Yeah.
Furs is a whole different world.
Yeah,
whole
it
different
is.
Business.
But I just meant with this.
Clothing. Today it's you stick a piece of fabric at the end of one machine and it comes out a finished garment at the other end. It's,
Right,
it's
yeah.
completely sterile.
Right.
Where they used to have the old artists, they used to sit there. My mother sewed buttonholes.
There was my mom. Yeah.
She sewed buttonholes one by one.
My mom,
eh?
yeah.
Your mom did too?
My mother, when she came to America, she worked at Bonds.
Yeah.
So
Tom,
she,
Tiki Freeman, and Tiny
Yep.
were the three big ones in
Yep.
the town.
Wow.
at the
And
time.
she would make things for us all the time. She would just make a dress for me. She wouldn't even have a sewing machine. She did it all by hand.
Right.
And she
Wow.
Remember
Oh
you
yeah,
told
and
us
she
told me
didn't
last time
even.
about that.
She
And
would
I-
just bring it to her, measure you with the piece of fabric, wrap it around, and she would just and she would make it. She would make all my doll clothes.
And I bet you she learned it from her parents too.
She learned it. Well, actually, my mom grew up in a convent, so she learned it living with the nuns.
So-
Wow.
God,
a
Jojo.
similar concept.
When did she decide she wanted none of this?
Let me tell you, she didn't want any of it ever. But her parents in
Put her in a
Italy,
convent?
they had, they didn't have money. They were
Yeah.
farmers,
Yeah.
and two of the kids out of the seven, they thought was a great idea to
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
this would be a way for them to,
what's
help
so
with
cool.
the raising of
So
them.
it's such an incredible story.
It's an incredible story.
That's the way it was.
Yeah.
That's the way we grew up. That's
Yeah.
who we are. That's who was in our DNA. That's,
All right, you got so many things that I have to ask. now.
Yeah.
Okay, one, is it true that like in the Italian culture, I come Irish, but I don't know. Some of this stuff is lost. I knew a woman, an Italian woman named Sanji. She came from a large Italian family. Sanji had no children. So there was, much like seven in your mom's,
Yeah.
they gave her a daughter to raise.
Yeah.
And,
Oh.
and so when I met Sanji was a friend of my mom's, the woman, I'm forgetting her name, but Sanji was her aunt, but she lived right next door, and she was taking care of her, and she said she raised me.
Yeah.
And that was, and I had heard that. My father goes, yeah, that was part of the culture and stuff. And I guess, like, in the Depression, like, my grandfather, there were 8 kids. right? And so they took in one more because somebody couldn't afford. So they had 9 that they raised. But I don't know the case
I
there.
don't know that
You
that
live in
is.
Anzia.
Yeah, that's the extended family, though. That's different from what he's talking about. And I don't know
Kinda
that
close.
that's the rule as opposed to the exception. Something like that you'd find. To
It sounded
be the
very
case.
loving. I mean, I think the girl.
And it is very loving, and it is
Yeah.
a very touching story. But to be the norm, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
that any Italian would give away one of their children
Well, yeah,
to someone.
Oh,
who-
I know.
Well, no, it's like a sister. It was like her
Oh, it was
sister.
her sister.
It was her sister.
Well, we-
You know, it's like
So
it was
the-
Aunt Sanji.
yeah,
So
Yeah, that's fine, but I don't think she would have been far from
Get up to
home.
8.
no, I think they
Yeah.
all lived like
On the same
Yeah,
street.
yeah,
Well, we
because-
always lived down the street from my grandparents.
Yeah.
Like,
So you
all of us
shared
lived
the
near
kids,
each other
you
all
shared
the
That's
time.
the
Yeah.
extended family
Yeah.
that you read about growing up.
Helped.
There's
Right.
no
They
question.
all,
No question.
that whole village, takes a village. It did. But with my mom's case, it was, they weren't even in the same town. Like,
Oh.
they were towns away from each other. So my mother only actually saw her siblings and her parents a couple times a year for the holidays. They'd pick them up for the holiday, bring them, and then bring them back a couple days later.
That's
But
funny.
it was really extreme. I mean, my mom, she doesn't have fond memories, believe me.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds wonderful that, you were raised in Catholic church with a priest and the nuns. It wasn't all rainbows and sunshine, but she learned how to.
A skill.
She made all of the priests' vestments. They embroidered every single linen sheets. So she could
amazing.
embroider without a pattern.
Wow.
They made all of the hosts for church. They did everything. They gardened. They did, it was kind of like the orphanage almost, because it was, the kids did all the work. They did a lot of work. But my mom could knit. She can sew. She can crochet. So us kids growing up, we'd
Yeah,
all
all
be sitting
that.
on the porch with our crocheting.
And that was-
We all learned how.
That today that would be cool and sexy.
Yeah.
And,
And I'd
very
hire.
chic. Back then, it was because of necessity.
It was necessity.
There was no other choice. We're not going down to
No.
the store and picking up some
My
new
mom-
dresses. And
yep.
We're making them because that's my. I remember
Department
when I
stores
was young.
non-existent.
I hated it too. My mother used to make my underwear.
Ah, come on.
I hated
Oh,
it.
my
I was
God.
like, wearing this
Mom,
shit
I need
right
a
now.
bigger pouch.
I mean, shit like that is just not uncommon.
Italian sausage here, Mom.
Not at all uncommon.
But my mom did say that she would, because she was in the convent, they weren't allowed to look in the mirror. They couldn't, vanity was, a sin. So, but as she started to develop, she crocheted her own undergarments, a bra, because she said they wouldn't take care of those things for them. They were
Wow.
not. So she was
They were really
uncomfortable.
cute too. Little
She would have to crochet her own bra because
Love
she
that.
didn't have
Itchy.
anything to.
What if
she
they
was-
found out?
And it
Was she
was-
allowed to do
Well,
that?
it was just
On her
her
own?
trying to minimize herself
Right.
because she developed very
Right.
young and she was uncomfortable with that.
And it was
yeah.
because of necessity.
Yeah, it was because of necessity.
Not because of the
Wow.
chic.
Right.
No.
Now we're like, we want a little
Under-
crochet top underneath that
They
jacket right there.
They dressed them like little nuns. I mean, my mother, the pictures from then, she had like the high collar and everything.
Wow.
Black and white. Yeah, they didn't wear. They were dressed like little nuns.
That's
Some people have a fetish for that.
I'm fascinated by that because
He watches too much.
No,
I would have never
Bill with the
picked,
porn. Bill's got the.
I would have never picked you to have that deep an understanding
Oh,
and
yeah.
a passion for the culture that you come from. That you have. I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
The more you talk, the more
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, where she come from here?
Right. This one came
That-
from that.
That is all old school
Yeah, right,
Italian.
yeah.
That's
I
that's who we are. That's our DNA.
it's a funny thing. I would say like
Unbelievable.
immigrants, Italian, and I think the biggest mix for many years was Italian and Irish.
Oh yeah.
For many years,
No
like
question,
that,
no
right?
question. And we were not a desirable country as immigrants when we
I
first
don't
came
think
over.
Ireland
and-
was either. at the
No,
beginning.
we were not. Yeah, you're right. The
Yeah.
Irish and the Italians, we were not like, oh yeah, come on over. Yeah. There were signs on the door when they were looking for work. As Italians need not apply. I mean,
Yeah,
Irish
it's so
need not
funny
apply.
because my
And we built their subways, we built their schools, we
Yeah.
built their buildings,
Yeah,
and
I
we
know.
built their
Yeah.
roads.
My grandfather was
and
my
now-
great grandfather was construction. He
And-
did the
Tony?
Empire State Building.
Tony to
What is
New
that
York.
word?
Yeah,
To New
and
York,
they
yeah.
built, and now
Yeah.
they've gone, and their second generation has now started back then, I should say.
Right.
The second generation became
Doctors,
lawyers,
Yes, yes,
financial
yes,
planners,
yes.
Yeah.
in
architects.
the military, in politics, and they develop. Now everybody wants to be Italian, and I tell you, there's more people that want to be.
I like
That's
being
hilarious.
I like being Irish.
Remember,
Yeah. I know.
we got
Hey.
green
Listen, we
shamrock.
like
I don't
wine.
mean any disrespect.
I know,
Bill, but
you know I'm
man,
kidding
We
you.
like Irish.
Yeah,
Look,
we-
the Ireland. So I just want to say something because
Oh,
my
yeah.
father learned to sew, and the reason was my mother was pregnant with me, and she started to take sewing classes, and she couldn't figure it out. So he would help her, and he learned to sew.
That's great.
So there was a time my parents were teachers. My mom back then, you took maternity leave. It would be 2 years. It's not that way
Wow.
anymore.
Wow.
now I got 4 weeks.
Yeah, so she took
Yeah.
a 2-year maternity leave when my sister was born, and then she got pregnant again, and she said, "I'm thinking of taking another 2 years." My father's like, "We're not gonna get no money, no anything."
Right, right.
My father was the closest thing to what you're talking about in terms of just survival, and I always say like Renaissance. The man was brilliant. He had a doctorate in philosophy.
my
But-
brother too.
Yes,
PhD.
yes, we talked about this.
Yeah,
We
right,
talked
we
about
did
this.
talk about that.
So my father cut the oil because we couldn't afford oil heat. Went and built a double barrel stove and cut wood and hooked it up. The house was always
Heated
warm.
the house.
And
Love it.
for my sister, never wanted her to look poor, so he would go to the children's clothing store and look at the patterns and understand it, and then go
That's
home.
amazing.
And he made her coats with black velvet collars.
That is
and
so
all that.
cool.
Yeah. So you never, because he's like, you never want to look poor. You always want to look your best.
I love that.
And back to the image.
Yeah,
The way you
100%.
look, no
Listen,
question.
Wally, I have said on the podcast and on radio for years, I had 3 sons. We had an easy pass into the emergency room all the time. Someone was
Yeah.
jumping off a
Yeah.
roof, breaking
Yeah.
a foot. This one was jumping in the pool, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So I always kept a button-down shirt
Handy.
starched on handy because I swear to God, you get treated differently.
No question.
You get treated differently.
No
Wow.
question. I did that study.
And I know that it
It
sounds.
was-
People want to go, hey, we don't, don't judge. Well, hang on a second. You can't help it. You
Right.
can't help
Yeah.
it. If you
There's
see a
no-
group of teenage boys walking down the street, I don't care what shade their skin tone is, you may walk on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't know what's going to
I
happen.
did
Right.
one time, I should say. I walked into Wegmans. I said, I got to try this because I was young in the business, and I'm hearing all this stuff, and I wanted to define my career path and my understanding of who I was going to be. So I walked into Wegmans, t-shirt, scruffy old torn shoes, shorts, looking like just nothing, you know. And I wasn't even noticed. And then the next week, I walked in there with a suit on, with my tie, with everything my tie was perfectly tied up against the shirt collar. My jacket was pressed against, I had it buttoned, I had my shoes shined, everything. And everybody treated me totally different
Yeah.
because of that fact. Now, I was the same guy who was there a week ago
Right.
looking like a schlep.
Yeah.
Right.
And no one gave me
Isn't
the time
that
of day.
something?
And I went in there with a suit on, and I just wanted to see because I got to, if I'm going to put a career
Yeah.
into clothing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my parents did, like
Right.
my grandparents did, and their parents before them, I want to understand the dynamics of it. I tell you, that had a big part of the Dress Passionately moniker that we developed
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day because
Love that.
you got to have that blood, you got to have that burn, you got to have
Yeah.
that love
Yeah.
for what you do, and what you do is create an image for not only yourself but the people around you, so they can walk into it. I tell these guys, what are you going to wear when you walk into the bank? You want to borrow $200,000 to
Right.
build your business.
Right.
But what are you going to do when you walk in? Here's another thing. Here's another thing. You wear that suit,
There's still a need, that's why. We're in
Good
business
question.
21 years.
Yeah.
and I'll tell you this one last thing, and I'll let it.
No, I got another question for you, Steve.
Go ahead.
We're not
We're
getting
coming
off.
up on your outline.
I did this one time. I was a young, snotty-nosed kid in the business. Check this out. And I read someplace where positioning is not only important, but it balances your image. So I was in a meeting, and I had to say something to a bunch of the old-timers at the time. I was a young, snot-nosed kid. So I took, and I had my great suit on, I had a great tie on, and everybody was dressed too at that point. Everybody was doing that. But what I did is I walked over to the chairman's chair, and I stood at that chair, and I sat down, and I delivered whatever message I was trying to deliver. And they were all like this. They were all looking at me and paying attention because I sat in that chair.
Yeah.
That chair came across as the point of power
Right,
for that
right.
old room.
Right.
It was amazing. That
Yeah.
it was one of those life lessons you learn that you say, okay, when you want to deliver a message, you want to be heard.
Yep.
Sit in the chair of the owner of the place, or the boss, or the chairman, or
Right,
whatever,
right.
and you get listened to. What I tell you.
How did you take the family business and steer it to where it is into like fine? Was it always fine men's clothing?
Always.
Okay, and then you kept that, but I'm going. There are designers that we don't know,
Well,
right? And all these things you find, and I mean the clothes are unbelievably beautiful.
and to understand them is even more fascinating. But it was an evolution. Okay, I started out. I was in college. I was working at a gas station, and my brother said, well, they're hiring at Hickey Freeman. Long story short, I got hired over there. I'd give it 6 months. 47 years later, I'm still doing it. But I evolved. I learned tailoring
Yeah.
at Hickey Freeman when I first there. Then I went to work for a local tailor, and I learned how to sell, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
To learn how to actually communicate with people and get them to own what you're selling, not buy. You want them to own.
Right.
And then I went from there. I went to the next level of my education of learning about Italian clothing, which was the real passion.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
The
Like
Italians,
some of the best dressed in the
cars,
world. Come on,
food, clothing,
Yeah.
all Italian. all
God damn it!
Italian.
Oh, yeah.
I always like to say this. I like to say that the Irish saved civilization because they were coming through and they were burning the libraries and the books and all this stuff, and they didn't get to Ireland. And they had all the literature, and they had the poets, and they had all that stuff. But man, when I look at Italy, I go, hey, just Ferrari. Ferrari's fuck you attitude to the world. We have other cars. Lamborghini went to Ferrari, goes, hey, I got tractors. I'll fix the clutch. We'll make a better clutch. And
That's
Ferrari
it,
goes,
yeah.
fuck you.
You saw that
my
movie?
God.
Yeah, I read all that
I
shit,
saw it
yeah.
Saturday night. I just saw
Oh,
it.
I didn't see it.
Oh
I didn't see
no,
it.
you got to see the Lamborghini.
No,
it's
I
on
know.
Netflix. Oh, it's an incredible story. It was amazing.
Yeah, I love Lamborghinis.
Everything
I like
you
racing.
just said.
Yeah.
Fix the clutch.
Fix the clutch. Yes, that was what it was. He was a tractor maker.
And Enzo Ferrari.
He goes, fuck you.
Yeah, and they asked Enzo Ferrari. They said, "What do you think of Lamborghini?" With his arrogant tone, he says, they should have stuck to making tractors." And that's
Oh
when
my
Lamborghini said,
God.
"Fuck."
Yeah,
I hate
they
to
did.
say
And
the V12 on the Lambo sounds better than the Ferrari.
It does.
Yeah.
The Ferrari's beautiful. That's a piece of
The
art.
Murcielago.
There's
the
a
best,
Ferrari I love.
V12 sound there is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Lamborghinis are not as to me as beautiful as a Ferrari. A Ferrari is unbelievable, just in its design. But it's a better engine and it races a whole lot better.
You got to
But-
see that program. You got to see.
Yeah, I
that
wanna
program.
see it. I didn't know that was out.
What's it called?
Just Lamborghini.
Oh,
The
okay.
story of Lamborghini.
Lamborghini, because
Okay.
Oh, Frank Grillo plays
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
when Frank
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
filming that. I remember.
And he said, and
hearing
one
an
famous
interview.
quote that he quoted, he says, they were rushing to get a car into
Yeah.
the Geneva Auto Show in
Yeah.
1963, the first car that they wanted to build.
Right.
And they finally put it together. And he was at the show, and Ferrari was right over there,
Yeah.
and he was with his arrogant, pompous
Yeah.
self, with his beautiful red Ferrari, and he was there with his new
There's another brand.
GT350, and he said to him,
Yo,
the
jeez.
GT350.
Yeah, that's one of the most beautiful. I mean, I think they go for 10.
And then he was breaking. He
The
wanted
old
to
school
give it
ones.
back.
Yeah. 70s.
Yeah, forget it. You can't even
They
find
probably are now.
it. Can't even find it. Ferrari says, "You want to be someone, you drive a Ferrari.
Oh.
If you are someone, you'll drive a
Lamborghini.
Oh.
And Enzo Ferrari's jaw just dropped. It was just.
Wow.
God, it's just such a fascinating story.
Yeah.
It was really. I mean, but it just goes back to the Italians. I mean, they put.
Well, I want a Ferrari.
They
Passion.
put love. They
Oh
put-
my God.
And that's where I was going
Well,
with
the
that
two
because
fit chicks should have
I learned
yeah.
Oh,
Can someone donate us a Ferrari?
Ferrari.
Well, the
we will
Ferrari
share it.
335 was one of my favorites. And I'm pretty sure that those sell 35 million plus.
Crazy,
Wear an
crazy
Omeros
enough.
suit
Right.
and drive a pink
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
that's where I was going with that story, and I'm going to end it at that. Is then I learned about Italian clothing, which correlates with the passion
Sure.
of Italians.
Yeah.
And then I took all of that
True
knowledge.
art.
I
True
took
art.
all of that knowledge, and I said, you know what? I got Matt in college, and he's showing a passion for this. I got to develop a platform for him to come in with me to do this together, so I could. I was planning my exit strategy before he was in the business.
Speaking of Italians, I worked for German at UB before classes started, 2001. Hugo Boss, a year and a half after undergraduate full time. building clientele.
It was
Very
just.
good.
He went on his own. I
Yep.
joined him in 07.
And then he
Wow.
bought the business. How long after the 18?
July 1st, 2018.
Yeah, so that was it, and I was out.
Now we get to-
and now I'm the old dude. I said, what the fuck? I'm not the old
Okay,
dude.
okay, okay.
I almost spent the joint in the parking lot. I'm not anymore.
Okay. We're here
What
with
happened? I got old. What happened?
we're here with the two fit chips, Bill, and we got some of the rarest cashmere. Just a little sneaky peek.
Italian.
This will
of
be
course.
on the runway
That's
next
gonna be
week.
on the runway.
Wait, that's cashmere?
Pure,
Yes.
pure
Yeah.
cashmere.
Look at that.
This
Never even heard of that.
And
Stuff on
guess
my
what?
Some of the rarest cashmere in the world. A yard of that is going for about $714.
Can you believe that? And
Yes.
guess what? Our names are in them.
Yes, show,
Wow.
show it.
We got our names in there.
That's a.
You see
You
it?
see,
You
Rebecca?
see it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Put her name. Show her name.
it's right.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Above that trademark label.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Rebecca
Rebecca.
Candelaria.
Mine says
Hers says Joe. I was going to put Rasco. Go formal for the first time.
We gotta go formal.
We could put it that in there too.
All right, we'll take a moment. I know
Okay.
Wally, you got to get out of here, but
Buzz off.
always a pleasure.
And we gotta pick out a shirt for Bill.
All right, we'll
Yeah,
do that.
oh, yeah.
we'll do that.
Don't let me
We'll
be
the girls-
around for that because I'll have to make it an Italian fabric.
Rebecca.
All right, okay.
I'd have to
All right.
make it shit. I'd make it Italian. I'd make them
I got him right under Rebecca.
Irish. Make him an Irish suit.
We do have a green shamrock
Nah,
lining.
He doesn't want.
I can
look
afford.
like a leprechaun.
I can afford the shirt now. Let's start with the
Inside.
shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure working with you guys on this podcast. You guys are fascinating. I'd really like to pick your brain some more about how
Let's
I
do
can
it.
focus myself.
Okay.
Because
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm doing the right things physically.
Yes.
Now I gotta improve.
Implement
Yes.
it.
Okay.
But I'm not doing bad. I
No.
just gotta do better, and I'm gonna pick on you guys to help me with
We
it.
love it.
Anytime.
Yes.
I love this. I
Yes.
love this whole connection. See, this is
I
what it's
know.
about. This is what it's about.
This is great.
We'll
I
be
know.
right back.
Ciao, Bello.